Today I'm going to talk about Firdos Farms. It's a project that is very close to our hearts, and we loved developing and building that project. So we come from a furniture family. Firdos Furniture has been there in Nagpur since 1934. And I'm the third generation, and my son is the fourth generation who's running the business right now. So, lot of woodworking, furniture making, beautiful spaces has always been there in our mind. And my forefathers, like my grandfather, had a farm in Khaparkheda in the 1940s and 50s. Then they came back to Nagpur, and then in 1992, my father decided to recreate Khaparkheda again near Nagpur. So he bought a farm in Gumgaon, Wagdara, and for more than 30 years, जिसको बोलते हैं ना अंथक tapasya, that tapasya he has done organically to develop a barren land into a beautiful forest. And he planted so many trees, uh, around 400-500 mango trees, some mosambi, then jam and teak, and lot of other fruits, because he loves fruits. So he wanted sare fruits मैं अपने बगीचे के खाऊं, and so that is from 92 to I think 2018. This was going on and on and on. And then 2018 he decided कि यहाँ एक छोटा सा farm house बनाया जाए. My son Shayan was doing his architecture. He had just done his architecture, or probably doing his architecture. So my father said, बच्चों को नए बच्चों को एक मौका दिया जाए. So Shayan and Aziz made the first draft. And 2019-20, during the lockdown, Chandan Thakur came from Bombay, and like a budding architect, he was partner with Aziz. So Chandan Singh took over the project as an architect. So we did a lot of things because we love experimentation at Firdos Furnitures. We encourage handwork and doing with your own hands. We did some line plaster there. We did mosaics. We made tiles with the stones, that pebbles that we picked up from the farm. And so this was going on till 2025. We were enjoying the farmhouse till 2025. We decided to shift from Nagpur and start living in the farm. So the onus was on Shayan and Sadaf to recreate what was created in Ramdaspet, to recreate the same thing at the farm using the same elements that we would take out from Ramdaspet.
So we decided then to build in that sense. Everything from my great grandfather's furniture to my grandfather's furniture to my father's furniture. So now this house is truly the ancestral house with four generations of work inside it. We thought of it like a vada since we are in Maharashtra, and we had a lot of antique elements which were there for restoration. It was my father's 30 years of collection, which now needed to come into this house. If you visit the spaces and you walk through the house, you'll see them unfolding just like a vada. So organically, the house, keeps on adding different rooms, and there are niches and corners where you walk through, just like homes were made early on in the ancient times during the empire. And so that's what the house now has become.
So, very interesting challenges we faced while doing this project. One beautiful thing that also aligns with our philosophy is balancing the thought process of three different generations. The staircase is a very interesting design where one step is of granite and the other step is of wood. There are no handrails, but handrail is made like a jali where old panels are reused. The sunburst panels are used. A beautiful bracket taken out from a building in Mahal is used as a naval post, as baluster. Then lot of arches we had purchased, and we had kept old doors and arches. So we installed those, fit in all old elements in them, the moldings, the jalis, and everything was old. One of the door, then when we restored it, beautifully had brass strips in it and brass hardware in it. The ceiling is of wood, and over this wood there are Mangalore tiles. So the paint was done with our own hand. We tried lime paint, then we tried copper paints. So we actually added some copper powder in paint and put it on the walls. And we wanted that copper to age, which is called patina. So these are very interesting experimental design elements that we have used in this house. So we kept the kitchen very modern because it is very utilitarian. The dressing, the toilets, very utilitarian. But in the other spaces, we have created interest by using old elements.
So the architectural challenge was now increasing the room sizes after it has been built. So the initial structure was reinforced concrete, right? But the extension that we have done is all in steel. So even though the base of it is RCC, a lot of stone masonry and a lot of steel now has been added to the structure to fit into this entire scheme. There was a big mandap and veranda already existing in the old house, in the old farmhouse, which was thought of by my grandfather. So it has, that typical galicha glass, pitched roof, and eaves, overhangs. Our house in Ramdaspet earlier had a big, huge courtyard inside, which was covered, but was a courtyard space. So we wanted that kind of feel to get repeated here into this house, and thus came the living room. So the living room, as you enter the living room, you are greeted by again a Maratha arch with mirror work, because that was the kind of work which was done earlier. So we again recreated that through Venetian mirror work. And as you enter that space, we got an opportunity to create a double heighted living room, which was going to be the heart of the house. With this living room, we always thought that, a water body is essential to control the microclimate, plus have that kind of, ambience. We thought that why to have blue pools? So we chose the swimming pool tiles to be a brick red ceramic. So, kind of like an architect's rebellion, that, why to have just blue pools? And then with that red, we complemented the pool area with stone floor. In between it is grass, and we wanted to have that warmth in the house.
A lot of things in the house was done by hand. We all love handcraft. There's a frame that is made completely using threads, which is of the old house. So it's like a memory. There's an antique gallery in one of the bedrooms where a wall is completely done with Shikawati art. It has, again, it depicts the arches in 2D form. For me, the biggest challenge was to, preserve the memory of the family.
But a very interesting thing that we have done here is we have built this house in levels. So there are 4 or 5 levels like the Panch Mahal of Fatehpur Sikri. The architecture reflects those layers, with every layer having sloping roofs and Mangalore tiles. So, like I said, our design philosophy is creating experiences that last generations. Even today in Firdos Furnitures, when people come कि मैंने तुम्हारे पप्पा से और दादा से फर्नीचर लिया था और उनसे मैंने दुकान बनाई थी, उनसे मैंने घर बनवाया था और अब उसको रिपेयर की जरूरत है, तो दैट shows that the experiences that we have created have lasted for 2-3 generations. So that is our design philosophy. The experiences that we create will last you for generations.
जब हम लोग वहाँ गए रहने के लिए, पहले तो बनाया था शॉप में, और वहाँ पर हमने जो एनवायरनमेंट बनाया, ग्राउंड्स वगैरह ऐसे लगाए प्लांट्स कि जो आपके हेल्थ के लिए भी बेनिफिट होता है, वो सब करके हमने शिफ्टेड देयर एंड नाउ वी फील कंफर्टेबल देयर एंड इट वाज डेकोरेटेड बाय असद फिरदौसी, तो वो और उसको शानदार बनाया उसने फिर।
वो पूरा घर अब जब हम जाओ तो इट्स लुक्स लाइक अ म्यूजियम, क्योंकि पेंटिंग्स हैं, डिजाइन्स हैं और ओल्ड एंड न्यू का मिक्सचर है। बट ये सब देख के बहुत खुशी होती है कि 4 लोगों के बीच में मैं रह रही हूँ और उनसे सीख रही हूँ कि आर्ट क्या है।
Today, when I sit in that house, each room has its own character. The pillars and all are done so tastefully. But any person who comes and sits there, they appreciate all those wood carvings and the colors and the thread paintings जो Sadaf करी है. And mummy also paints, papa also paints, Asad के watercolors. I do a little sketching, but mostly each room has its own character. So this place has become like heaven. Really, Firdos बोलते हैं. Firdos is heavens.
Hi, I am architect Asad Firdosy.
Hi, I am architect Shayan Firdosy.
Hello, I'm architect Sadaf Firdosy, and this is our design story.